Hi, this is Terry with Total Life Pursuit, and this is a video series for stewarding the life of a pastor and ministry leader, although it really does apply to anybody, but it's specifically designed for pastors and ministry leaders to steward their bodies and their souls and their families. So today we want to talk about mental, emotional, and stress. The mental and emotional capacities, the mental and emotional health and wholeness that we have really does matter to God. And it's not about reading books and going to conferences and attaining more knowledge. Emotional regulation is part of emotional wholeness. It's being able to regulate your emotions. Like when you're on the golf course, I don't know about you, and I chip out of the sand, and then chip to the other side of the green, and then I chip back into the sand. I need emotional regulation badly. But it's more than that. It's being able to experience your emotions and being able to have an understanding of where they come from, and if they need healing, to get healing. Mental wholeness, mental soul care, so to speak, I look at it as thinking how you want to think. Like it says in 2 Corinthians 10. It says, "We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ." Admittedly, we're not going to solely focus on emotions and the way we think, although they are really important. What we want to do is bring it into the wholeness of the body, with the body and the soul being one, because they are one, right? Spirit, soul, and body, they make up who we are. So let's bring it into that wholeness, because this video really is about introducing the physical with the mental and the emotional. And somehow we look at, like, the way we think is not part of our physics, our physiology. The way we think has to do with our brain. And our brain, last I checked, is part of our body. I think we learned that in anatomy. So, yes, the way we think, we have a mind that is immaterial, that is a part of our soul. I get that. But the reality is that all of these things, emotions, the way we think, and the way we live in the physical body, all have a correlation, and they have effect on each other. Our brain works with electricity. It has chemicals, and it needs fuel. And what we eat gives it those things. And we can change how we think. We can change our brain chemistry with how we think. We can change our brain chemistry with how we eat. We can change our brain chemistry with how we move and exercise. Exercise on the brain, oh my gosh, the research is just out there. The studies over and over and over again of how exercise improves the brain. And in fact, almost every neuroscientist and brain expert touts exercise as one of the greatest, or the greatest thing you can do for brain health. Exercise releases endorphins. We've heard this. Feel-good, happy messengers that go around. They tell your brain all things are happy. I know you're thinking, not when I exercise. No, it actually happens. It releases myokines. It releases this thing called the hope molecule that crosses the blood-brain barrier. It's a scientific term, or it's a term from scientists, because this molecule actually gives you hope, and it's released when you exercise. You can play great memory games that are going to help grow your hippocampal volume. When you exercise, you have neurogenesis, synaptogenesis, and after 12 weeks, you have angiogenesis. In other words, more blood vessels. That means more oxygen, more fuel. Things in your brain are worked out well when you exercise. There are memory games. I took a senior fitness course, and included in it was this brain course. It was so cool. You could do little memory games when you're exercising, and that really boosts the effect of memory or of hippocampal growth when you do exercise and memory together. Let's talk about, for a moment, serotonin. Serotonin is a mood enhancing neurotransmitter. It's a mood stabilizing. It helps promote quality sleep. It helps regulate appetite. It helps us with learning. It helps us with memory. It helps promote positive feelings and social behavior. SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, are the most common antidepressant. So when you don't have enough, they think, when you don't have enough serotonin and you need more, when you don't have enough, you're depressed and you need more. Now, whether you believe in that or not, this is the antidepressant they give. Basically, what they do is it enables you to use more of your own serotonin. But you create serotonin. Your body manufactures serotonin. How do you do that? You do it by eating. Tryptophan. Tryptophan is an amino acid. Along with tryptophan, you need omega-3, you need vitamin D, you need calcium, you need magnesium, you need a few more things to create serotonin. 90% of it is made in your gut. Bad gut, diseased gut, maybe that's going to affect your mood. It probably will. You see, it's not, the brain doesn't work, and the way we think isn't happening apart from our physical health. And what we consume has a direct correlation with our mood. See, we can drink alcohol and it will actually depress or eat up, deplete serotonin. So will caffeine. Oh my gosh, artificial sweeteners will do the same thing. Get rid of those anyways. And, hello, high fructose corn syrup depletes serotonin. Oh, and by the way, what releases serotonin in your blood? Exercise. Are you getting this? We have so much to do with how we think, our mood, how we emote. We have so much to do. Our lifestyles really are a determining factor. Studies on depression are incredible. Exercise and diet and depression. In fact, some studies say that exercise and a good diet is better or at least equal to antidepressant medication and counseling. Now, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm not saying I'm not saying quit your medication or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't do that. You got to see a professional before you make any drastic changes. I'm just saying, except for maybe exercise, start to move. But you should check with your doctor on that too. I'm just saying depression and anxiety and these mental disorders are greatly helped by our lifestyle. Stress. Let's switch gears for a second. Stress. Stress is a big deal. Let's look at it. 75% of pastors report significant stress-related crisis at least once in their ministry. 52% of pastors feel overworked and cannot meet their church's unrealistic expectations. 54% of pastors find the role of being a pastor overwhelming, and 91% have experienced some form of burnout in ministry, and 18% say they're fried to a crisp right now. I'm fried to a crisp right now. Boy, I hope that's not you, but if it is, you need to get some help right away. Don't delay. There is this access. I'm not going to get too deep physiologically, but I just want to show you there's an axis within your body, HPA axis, that deals with stress, okay? When you interpret a stressful, life-threatening event, you have this little emergency burst in your autonomic nervous system takes over. It's automatic, right? And it takes over and it's like, jump out of the way of the car, or climb this tree faster to get away from this lion. Oh, they can climb the tree too. I don't know what to do after that. But if you continue to be in danger, then your amygdala sends a signal to your hippocampus, HPA axis. Hippocampus then secretes hormone that goes to your pituitary, which secretes hormone that goes to your adrenals, which releases adrenaline, right? Epinephrine, norepinephrine, and especially cortisol. And this is so you can run away from the lion. The lion is chasing you. You got to run away from the lion or it's going to eat you. So how long can you go? How long can you go full speed? Well, not very long. The stress response isn't supposed to last a day, a half a day, hours. It's supposed to be dialed in to 45 seconds. Look at the animal kingdom. It's like if the lion doesn't get the wildebeest or the zebra, it's after 45 seconds, it's like, whew, okay, done. I'll go hunt somewhere else. That's the way our stress is supposed to be for a very brief time. It's there, it's a gift of ours. Our problem is our body is being signaled by the way we're thinking that we have a lot of stress and we're in danger. And all we have is a deadline, or we have an insult that we go over and over and over, an offense that we go over and over and over again. You see, these things get interpreted, this pressure of the work, the pressure of the schedule, the pressure of the performance, they get interpreted by our body as this is a life-threatening event. We got to turn on the gas. You see, the parasympathetic nervous system is supposed to come in and pump the brakes, shut the circuit down. But it doesn't, because we're interpreting the events of our life as highly stressful. Therefore, all of the things that happen during a stressful event to save our life, digestive system gets shut down, immune system gets all but shut down. There are all kinds of things that happen like that. All of a sudden, that's happening all the time. We have high blood sugar. How come? Because our glycogen stores are being released. Our liver is dumping sugar into our blood so our muscles can run faster or climb higher to get away from the lion. Except there's no lion, and this is going on all day. So our blood sugar is elevated all day, which is really bad for our blood vessels and our organs, our life. Are you getting this? Stress messes us up. And not only physically, but mentally. Mentally, you're not thinking clear because you're in survival mode. Okay? Your brain isn't thinking, isn't remembering all of the stats that you have to remember. This is really going to make you struggle mentally. It's going to make you struggle emotionally when you're under high stress all the time. We know this to be true, right? Your wife tells you, why are you so intense? That's what my wife tells me. Why are you so intense? Because I'm just an intense person. No, I'm under a load of stress that I'm not even recognizing because I operate that way all the time. It becomes the norm. And all of a sudden you have relational problems. So not only do you have physical problems like cardiovascular health, mood disorders that mess up your brain, not only are you at low energy levels, metabolic disease, immune system dysfunction, you're sick more often. Not only all of that is happening, but now you got relational problems with the people you really love. And then what? Well, you got financial problems because you got to go to experts to fix all your problems. And all we needed was the parasympathetic nervous system to pump the brakes. But we never get there because our brain is thinking stressful things. Back to the stress slide. We think, me thinks, we need to do something about this. You see, stress can sink us. 80% of hospitalized illnesses is thought to have come from stress disease or be stress related. There are good things out there, there are good books out there that can help you tame the stress in your life. And I know that you want to tame that stress. I think you do. A lot of people say, well, I'm just a stressed out person. Genetics has a play, very little. Personality type has a play, yeah. I believe that it's your foundational belief systems. They are hardwired into your head. All thoughts go through a process within the brain. And you have foundational belief systems that everything, every perception, every thought goes through. And that's what I think needs to change. If you believe that you're not enough, then you're going to keep performing to try to prove to yourself and others that you'll be enough. If you believe that you'll never have enough money, you're going to work yourself to the bone. You're going to save everything. You're not going to give anything away. You won't enjoy anything. And you're going to worry about the money you have and about the money you don't have yet. But if you believe God is going to work situations out, whatever that situation will be, you'll just do your part and let him have the rest. I remember my father-in-law, he got a bill for $10,000 from a hospital stay. And he didn't have the money. He worked. I mean, he was 70. He should have been retired. He was working. He saved. He did good. But he just looked up at God and said, hey, God, you got another bill. What I'm saying is that if your foundational belief system is God's going to work it out, if you do your part, you're not worried about anything else. You're not anxious about it. You just do your part. When you're under stress, I have 4 questions to ask yourself. You can do this every day or when you're under stress to try to find out what the problem is. Number 1, when did I first start feeling stressed? Number 2, what happened when I first started feeling stressed? In other words, what was the event that was going on? Number 3, what was my thinking about the stressful event? What was my process of thinking when I was going through this stressful event? When my boss said, you've got a deadline, it's got to be done right now. What did I start thinking? I know you thought, I got to get it done right now. But why was it stressful? I don't have enough time. I'm unable to do it. What was the thinking? And then number 4, what was my foundational belief system that created that thought? What was in the foundation of everything that allows you to think or perpetuates you to think or propels you to think in that way? What is it? I believe that if you ask those 4 questions, you are going to discover what your foundational belief system is that needs to be changed. And we do that by renewing the mind. Romans 12, chapter 12, verse 1, right? Renew the mind. You transform your life by renewing your mind. That's the reality. You renew your mind. Your mind determines how your brain operates. So it's the brain and the mind together that are going to do it. The brain is on automatic pilot so much of the time. So those thoughts go in, the perceptions go in of what's happening, and your brain interprets it. So, renewing the mind renews the brain. And that's what we need to do. There are signs that I want to go over of high stress. See if you have any of these signs. Trouble sleeping, unusual tiredness and fatigue, short temper, unfocused thinking, anxiety, panic attacks, chest pain, indigestion, withdrawal from social situations, paranoia, irregular breathing, headaches, lack of libido, clenching your jaw. All of these things are going to indicate that you are going through a stress disease, that you have a ongoing stressful body. How can I say this right? Your body is in an ongoing stressful situation because of the way that you're thinking. And I would say because of your foundational belief system. There are ways, lots of ways. I mean, you can Google, you can get books on how to de-stress yourself. There are practical things that you can do with a good to-do list and prioritizing it and then rework it as like do, delegate, and dump. You're going to do this, you're going to delegate this, you're going to dump this. And when people like me, if you're like me, I don't want to delegate much because I can do it better, and I don't like to dump it because, of course, it's on my to-do list. I can't dump it. It's wrong thinking. Scheduling your week often helps, and scheduling your day. I find that scheduling the day, then you can really understand, can I get this done? You can comprehend all that you have to get done or want to get done, and then it's not going to get done because there's just not enough hours in the day. So you modulate your day based on that, and you either delegate it or you dump it. There are supplements that you can take too. Look at these. Omega-3 fish oil, vitamin C, calcium and magnesium, 2 wonderful herbs that relax you and modulate your mood, ashwagandha, passion flower, and then valerian root. I love valerian root because it helps me sleep. Now, there are physiological things that can reduce your stress, like exercise. But there's breathing exercises. Now let's remember, okay, no one hijacks breathing. It's God's deal. Physiological proof that breathing reduces cortisol, a hormone that is secreted by the adrenal gland. It's physiological proof. There's research to back it up. So one exercise is breathing in for 6, breathing out for 8. So you breathe in 6 through the nose and you breathe out for 8. Same count. In 6, out 8. This helps you within a couple minutes. It helps you reduce your stress level. But the kingpin technique to reducing stress, in my opinion, is rewriting your brain, rewriting that foundational belief system. Now, I like using the Neurocycle app by Dr. Caroline Leaf. I think it's a wonderful app. It's a wonderful tool. Me and Jesus sit down with my journal. We go through the exercises. She has 5 questions. She does teach you, which is really helpful. And then there are some exercises to get your brain prepared. Now, some people might find a couple of the exercises objectionable. Just chew the meat, spit out the bone. Don't go crazy. It's a tool to help you rewrite your brain. If you've got a better one, use it. This is the one I liked. You know, a counselor asked me one time, "Hey, Terry, why do you feel like you have to do everything and you have to make it right?" It was like revelation to me. What in the world? I do. I feel like that. Like I am in charge of making everything right. You know, when I got that revelation, which was a foundational belief system, I could make the change and rewrite it. Let's talk about a friendly work environment before we close. You know, you can create one. You can design a high-stress office, or you can design a low-stress office. You can load everyone with pressure all the time to get it done, get it done, get it done. Or you can create an atmosphere where people love each other. You can create an environment where people get things done very well. They don't just get it done, they get it done well. You can create an environment of love, acceptance, forgiveness, even when someone doesn't get it done well, that you still love them. You bolster them, you cheer them on, you tell them they can do better the next time. Yeah, you could do it. Even if you're a solo pastor, you can create this environment with your own self. Quit being so darn hard on yourself. Give yourself a break. Have a little fun. Take a little fun break during the day. Get a little, I don't know, get a little drone and fly it around the church. Could be dangerous, but, you know, might be a lot of fun. I know the kingdom's serious. Look, I get it. The kingdom is serious. I get it. But I think even Jesus had some pressure release valve time. On those long walks from Nazareth to Jerusalem or from Galilee to Jerusalem, now that's so far, that he had time with the boys and the girls, that he enjoyed life, that he had downtime, that he let go of the pressure. Now, I think Jesus knew how to modulate his stress perfectly. But us, not so much. Not all the time. We can create a culture of honor where we love that people do their best and they love to do their best. Councils, boards, you have a hand in this. Number one, what are you expecting out of your pastors or pastoral staff or pastor? What do you expect out of them? 24/7? All the time? Hard work, 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 work? What do you expect? You can set up a standard. In fact, you can even ask the pastor how he's doing or she's doing. How's the staff doing? How are you doing? Ask them. Make sure that they are not under undue stress. And if they are, find out if it's a system problem or it's a personal issue. When I planted a church, there was this guy, his name was Jim Scott. He was my first supervisor. And he said, "Terry, we love that you're planting this church. If the church makes it, if the church doesn't make it, what we want is for you to make it. We don't want you to crash and burn. We don't want your family to crash and burn. If the church makes it, great. If it doesn't, great. But we want you to make it." Those words still endear me to this man, Jim. I love him for his care for me personally, and I'll never forget those words. I can remember exactly where he said it, where I was sitting in his office. Pastors, leaders, you have a chance to say that to the people that you pastor, that you lead. Let them know that you don't want them to crash and burn. Of course you want their ministry to be successful, but you want them to thrive in life. I hope you've enjoyed this video. My prayer is that you will thrive, that you will learn how to take the yoke of Jesus on. That is easy. His burden is easy, his yoke is light, and that you will thrive in life. And that is what you'll replicate in your ministry. Not some high stress ball pastor or leader, but you'll replicate somebody who operates in peace, trusts God, and enjoys life. All the time doing the work of the ministry in an excellent way and loving people. I'm Terry with Total Life Pursuit. We'll see you next time.